Jamel President grew up less than a mile from the College of Charleston and graduated from Burke High School. He was as hard-nosed and spirited as any player I have ever coached. On the defensive end, he always guarded our opponent's best scorer. His jump shot was picture perfect, and he iced many games with his foul shots. In fact, in his senior year, he ranked 4th nationally from the foul stripe. He played in the backcourt with Anthony Johnson, and they made a magnificent duo. In an NCAA game against Stanford at the United Center in Chicago, Jamel was voted Chevrolet Player of the Game. After graduation from the college, Jamel has given so much back to the community. He presents to youngsters seminars in SAT taking and academics, and conducts clinics and camps teaching the ABCs of basketball. He is also president and CEO of the DAE Foundation. Jamel, congratulations, and a big thanks for your contributions and the role model you have become for the youth of Charleston.
President Benson.
DAE TV, find better life.
It's okay. Work on it. Take off. Let's go. Make it. Let's go. Let's go. Back pedal. Back pedal. No dribbling, Mike. Back pedal all the way back. Get back up here. Let's go. Stay low. Muscle. Put in the extra field, right? Let's go. Come on. Back pedal. 1. Let's go. Mike. Right? Got the shoulder off. One side, sit defense is here. Alright, right side. I got you leaning. This I got you leaning. Boom, cut this off. Like right here. So when you go here, you get a chance to. Okay? You can't come back and cut the shoulder off. Stay tight. Boom. Take off. It's okay, no shit, Mike. Let's go, forward, let's go. You can do it, you wouldn't be here, Mike. You can do it, you wouldn't be here. Work on it. I got it. You can do it, you wouldn't be here, guys. Good job, Mike. Take off. More. How you feel? Big waves. You got the big waves. Come on. Hard. Stay even the whole time. So going long, short, the whole time. 25%. This is 50%, 75%. Okay. Challenge was defended, Obama was defending challenge. Right? He's going, and if let's say I don't drop step, this will happen. See? That's why we get beat a lot. Okay? What if I drop step? It's coming. Boom. So let's say I drop step, and Townsend uses his small B to cross back over. I'm going to do it twice. I'm not going to drop step, then I'm going to drop step. Like that happens. What if I drop step? Two at the same time. Drop step, drop step. So I'm never out of position. If I cross my feet get close together, then that's how we fall. See? That happens. Always remember wide drop step. Okay, so when we get here, 25% drop step, stay low the whole time. Alright? So next we'll demonstrate the defensive slides, times we'll do straight and drills. 25%, between the legs. 50% crossover. 75% behind the back, 10% mix. Question? Okay. Alright, let's go. We do the 90%, obviously. 25% first. We'll go over. Between the legs. Hop. 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 Hop.
About the time back in November when you actually lost to Nikki Haley. What was that like for you?
Well, it's never any fun to lose, but it was an incredibly enjoyable campaign. I got to meet thousands of people in South Carolina who really wanted change, but change is very hard in a state like South Carolina. I knew that getting into it, okay. But I think it was well worth it to be able to advance the issues like 4-year-old kindergarten, like reforming state government, and drawing attention to the fact that kids were literally dying at the Department of Social Services under this administration. Those things need to be exposed and talked about, and we need to make progress. And that's the point.
And you talk about the DSS situation. As we sit here right now, what do you want to see happen next?
Well, what we really need to have is that this administration take responsibility for what's going on in the Department of Social Services and appoint the most qualified person in America to run that agency and get it into shape and restore confidence with the employees, to allow there to be a free dialogue of employees who work there instead of the fear and intimidation that we've seen over the last 4 years. So number one is getting the most qualified person. Number two is to recreate what should be in every state agency, which is an agency that has openness and accountability and transparency that we've been lacking.
Last night was really a historic and a busy night in South Carolina. So fill in the blanks for me. Governor Nikki Haley winning re-election last night was?
Well, it wasn't a shock to me. South Carolina is a heavily Republican state, and she's done a pretty good job, and the economy has continued to get better. Part of it her work, part of it just the economy's gotten better all over the country. And you've also got a Republican-controlled House and Senate that tends to be more business-friendly. I'm not always saying that they're always the best stewards either. I mean, we've grown government under the last Republican regime, and so we've got, I think the Republicans they've gotten an opportunity now, and they're really going to have to show that they can do a better job than the Democrats, and if they don't, then the Republicans will have no chance of winning the presidential election in 2 years.
Vincent Shaheen losing his second gubernatorial race for us.
I don't know that it gives you a clear indicator of a whole lot. The economy's doing good. It's hard to kick someone out of office when things are good. And I didn't see the final numbers, but I would feel surprised if he didn't lose by a bigger margin than last time. Because things are in South Carolina looking very good. Employment's up. The economy's looking better. And so nothing against Vincent. And Vincent's a good fellow. It was a difficult time, especially for Democrats in the South this time.
You have been in politics, and you're actually one of the longest continued serving Republicans in the Low Country. I'm wondering, what does that mean to you?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I've been here for 20 years,
Right, yeah.
and I've never seen a Democratic deed or a Republican deed come across our desk.
Wow. Wow.
We serve the public.
Public, yeah. It's not politics.
It's not politics.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And let's go back to 1994. You really sent shockwaves to Charleston County when you actually beat out the incumbent RMC. Put on your thinking hat and tell me, how much did that shock you?
I really wasn't shocked. I mean, I had been serving on Charleston County Council for 4 years.
Right.
My opponent was a Democrat.
Right, I remember that.
He was a lifelong Democrat. He was concerned that that the Democrats were going to put a black man in the Democratic primary, and he thought he was going to lose.
Wow.
So he shifted over and became a Republican.
Wow.
And so in the primary, when I came into this same desk right here, I walked in, I shook his hand, and I said, Mr. King, I'm going to be running for RMC.
Yeah.
He said, you can't do that. I said, why not? He said, well, they told me that if I switched, I wouldn't have competition. I said, well, Mr. King, they didn't tell me that, whoever they are.
Right. And let's rewind time to Friday, October 31st. Many Charlestonians opened their copy of the Post-Courier, and the headline read this: County Council needs Legree. In the beginning, the article says, quote, in the only contested race for Charleston County Council, voters should choose Republican challenger Thomas Legree, a Johns Island farmer who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to growth management and rural preservation during his years as a community leader. In the article, it mentioned your opposition to I-526 extension, the Johns Island Greenway, and more. And the letter says this: at the conclusion of the article, he has been a vocal advocate for rural preservation and land protection for years, and will bring that sustained commitment to county council where it is much needed. Tell me, when you read that particular endorsement, what was going through your mind?
I was tickled to death. I thought it was a great article, a great endorsement, and I'm really happy that they endorsed me. I was very, very proud to receive that.
Yeah. And although you have received this great publicity from the Post-Courier, you're really fighting some political demons.
I am. There's a pact been formed to basically take me out. And their goal is to support people who are on county council and the state house who are in favor of 526 and the Cross Island Road. And they might as well have named it I Hate Thomas Legree Pact, because they're going after me. And I look for them to go after other people in the future, but this time, this election cycle, they're going after me.
Dating me, find better life.
Getting better. You know what that means? Huh? You know what process means? What's process mean? Right. To fall in love with the process of getting better. So you just went 19 in a row and you missed. I'm laughing. I'm laughing that I missed. You know why? I got another chance of doing more reps to get better at that. Look at it like that. Not missing. I wish it was over with. No, I'm getting better. I missed. Okay, yeah, another chance to get better. Fall in love with that.
16 years ago, I had a vision to educate and change the whole focus of our student athletes. We get a stigma of being uneducated, not smart, make bad decisions. So I wanted to create a platform where we could educate student athletes to kill that stigma of us being uneducated athletes.
Boy. What's up? What's your last name? Y'all gotta fall in love with the process of getting better. Who knows what that means? What's that mean? What's that mean?
You want to learn how to get better. You want to work to get better.
Right. What you think?
It means you can't just start off really good. You have to get in the process to start being good.
Good, but don't use the word to explain it, define the word. But it may be kind of sharpen up for you guys. like left hand, like everybody was fine going to right hand. I'm going left hand, which everybody's weak side. The energy just went down because you got to be able to accept failure and have failure through success. You got to have failure through success. So you got to fall in love with the process of missing the left hand layups, of missing 5 shots in a row. You got to fall in love with that because each time you miss is an adjustment to get better. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't fall in love with the process of getting better, you're not going to get better because you're not going to be able to accept the failures and the hard times that come with it. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Most kids that play this game at home getting ready for Super Bowl. Y'all here working on y'all games. So you got to fall in love with the process of getting better. That makes sense? So you got to be accepting failures. Accepting failures means that I'm going into this left hand layup like it's a right hand layup, like I already made 10 in a row already. I'm not going in like this. That's how you go in. That's how you miss shots. You got it. Let's go.
Dating we find out life.
Mark, in the oatmeal recipe, which is nutrition, skill development, and academics, let's go into those 3 things and how it applies to your everyday life and your success. We talk about the nutrition. You know what I mean? The mind has a lot to do with the body, and your mind is so intact. Nutrition, you obviously have a restaurant, so you're very mindful of that. The skill development, doing all those things, from taking out the trash and dealing with people, dealing with managers and employees, those things take a skill. And then the education part of it. As you say, you was a principal and then you attended a University of Georgia. Talk about how those 3 components and how important they are to anyone's life, especially businessmen like yourself that go through those adversities and trials and tribulations just every day. How do those things apply to, and how do you deal with those 3 components?
It's a good question, and let's go back to the nutrition side. And as an educator, and I learned all this, but just go back to people in general. A person as a child has his capacity to learn completed by the time they're like 7 or 8 years old. Their capacity to learn. That means that all kinds of things play into it, but genetics, nutrition, excuse me, sleep patterns, experience, parental involvement, safety, security, all these things that kids experience from the time they're born until they're 7 or 8 years old, that determines their capacity to perform and learn the rest of their lives. Not how much they'll learn, but their capacity. So that's incredibly important, the nutrition side, as well. Take into the account the parents being involved, and there's the education side, or the continuing education side. And in my particular case, I've got businesses, I've got grown people working for me. They should be educated already, but learning your job better, learning how to work computers, reading newspapers, reading articles online, keeping up with current events helps you become smarter in the sense that you can have conversations with people. You don't have an opinion based on nothing.
Right. Because even if your opinion is not totally correct, it's argumentative.
At least you have an opinion that's an experienced opinion.
Right.
Might not be the one I agree with, but I'll accept your opinion anytime. But if you tell me that something won't work just because it won't work, or because that guy's a tool, or whatever, I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? What do you base that opinion on? Just give me something.
Right.
Skill development is very important. You may ask the player, Now, how would you score 20 points a game? And the first thing he will say is, I'll shoot a three-pointer, or I'll take some jump shots. Well, there's really no thought process in obtaining that goal. You got 4 quarters to a game, and I tell every player, your goal is to get 2 layups per quarter. 2 layups per quarter is 16 points. Then to reach the 20-point goal, you need 4 more points. So my next question, how would you get that 4 more points? Again, they will say shoot a three-pointer or shoot a lot of shots. My question to them is that, how about the free throw line? And the next question is, how and when do you get to the free throw line? Well, if you got 17 fouls and shooting a 1-on-1, or 10 team fouls and shooting 2 shots, those are the times you should drive to the basket. So if you got 16 points with 2 layups per quarter, and you get to the free throw line 2-3 times a game, you're a 20-point scorer.
Don't touch the spot. You touch the spot, see Kenneth, and see the ball by looking straight. See what I'm saying? Put your hand back, let's go. So anything comes, that's your antenna. Okay? If you're here, get back. Like how you work. And this is down. Put this down. Give him that up. Okay? Take that way I'll see what turns in. Alright? Do that again, Kenneth. And move. Give me the ball. Alright? You came here, pop. Right? You put a bit on that. Right? Okay, so now you pick me, ball over. Alright? Now do the same thing to me. I did it to you. You're here, pop. Go back. Pop. All because of what? My antenna. Now go again. That's right. Your antenna's not up, it's not going to work. Go again. Pop, now go. You're done. Alright? So you again. Go. Move. Alright? You can't turn your back on the ball. You're right. Let's go. Pass, go again. Go again. I hope you see what I see as a player. I see it. Okay, well let's do that. Alright? You don't see it. You don't see what I see as a player. That's it. Now you gotta take all that away. Okay? You can't be so far away from him that you're giving all this up. Okay? You gotta be here in this midpoint. He's gotta come to you. He's here, giving up a shot. Okay? Good job, good. Good. About that. I'm already here. Where would you want to go? No. Open spot. You're already there. Here. Okay. If I come stand back right there, do this. You come here.
Dating when you find out in life.
As we met, earlier, Dr. Safer, and we
Day Foundation just brought you on board as one of our sponsors. Talk about why you choose to be a part of the Gus Macker of Charleston and Day Foundation and help us out with our whole thing with the oatmeal recipe approach.
Okay. Well, I didn't really know much about the oatmeal recipe until we met and spoke about it, and I really think it translates into all professions, any profession you're really in. I think you need all three components. If you're just doing one, it's not going to work. And I know you mentioned the first is education. And I think for your viewers, and young people, it's really finding a passion that you love and finding a mentor, maybe spend a day with a lawyer, doctor, or a real estate agent, and just see what they do during the day. And I think once you find that passion, just try to get the highest education you can, get that degree. And I think that's very important. And also experience. For me, I was able to, in residency, go to the Cleveland Cavaliers podiatrist and work with him.
Nice.
Unfortunately, LeBron James wasn't there at the time. He was in Akron, couldn't get any tickets because he was such a great athlete back then. But I was able to spend time with him, see him interact with athletes, pro athletes, basketball at the stadium, as well as go to his office and see the patients that he saw. Not only athletes, but diabetics, pediatric children, and seeing how they help people. And that's what I really love, is just making people better.
Right. So. And due to all the experience and training, and that what we call the education part of it, you develop the skill, right? So talk about the skill and then the important of nutrition that goes along with not only Dr. Safer's everyday life, but your approach to carrying out a tremendous craft that you do.
Well, without skill development, I think it goes hand in hand with education. I think trying to keep on improving yourself. Skill development for me after podiatry school was just going to residency, trying to get the best training I could for foot and ankle surgery. And from there, never being complacent, always trying to learn more. There's always somebody better than you, like in basketball, such as in my profession as well. So I just try to get training as much as I can at seminars and just try to get better at facets of my career to help my patients. Social media is something that I never was trained on, but now we use Facebook and Twitter and blogs to really educate our patients. So I think it's an evolution, just trying to reinvent yourself and never be complacent.
Nice.
And then going into nutrition, I have two daughters, one that's 5, one that's 5 months, so I'm definitely tired in the morning. But I can't do anything about that right now. But I think nutrition is definitely key. I know we talked about oatmeal. I've actually tried to eat healthier in the morning, staying away from the carbohydrates. It does give you more energy, and I really try to set a good example for my patients. I try to keep active and exercise. I feel better about myself. I think I set a better example for my patients. Makes my mind clearer, and just I think eating healthy and exercising is really the key. And so I think nutrition is very important, and I just think all three really need to be worked together to be to have a full career in whatever you do.
So the oatmeal recipe, when I heard that, I thought it was a recipe with oatmeal. So tell us about that.
Well, actually, it is a recipe for oatmeal, and there's two folds to the oatmeal recipe.
Okay.
The recipe part of it is our approach to our student athletes, which is 7 to 9, 10 to 12, and 13 to 17.
Those are the ages.
Those are the ages.
Okay.
And our sports, obviously, is basketball. So in the 7 to 9 department, we teach kids the weight of the basketball, the length of the court.
In the 7 to 9 group, we focus more on lowercase i's, lowercase v's, acute angles while you're dribbling, right angles while you're dribbling. The ABCs of basketball. Stay low, stay low. Let's go, let's go. Lower, Jake, lower, lower.
In the 10 to 12, it's the application part of it.
In the 10 to 12 division, we developed a travel ball program where kids can actually apply what they learned in the previous division.
In the 13 to 17, it's the community involvement, which is MUSC, Kaplan University, all these different ingredients that kids will need as far as ACT help, basketball, nutrition, and skill development. Those things, we implement that into the recipe part.
Right now we're categorizing our fruits, vegetables, and grains, doing a little physical activity where the scholars are coming right to the middle. They're grabbing a card that's going to have like a word like an apple or spinach or wheat bread, and we have the categories on the peripheral of the court. So they're identifying whether it's a grain, a fruit, a vegetable, or meat, and they're putting it in the appropriate category. And after the first round, I'm pretty impressed.
Nice.
Tomato ended up in the fruits.
Nice. We also have former college coaches, former players to give information to our student athletes.
So you talked about, you know, the importance of nutrition, education, and skill development, which is the oatmeal recipe ingredients. In our conversation, you mentioned those three things. So, you know, in our last topic, talk about, you know, the charity that you started and what's that all about, and why you think it's an important thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the reason for your foundation, the call, and everything is definitely important. Obviously, skill development is important because, you know, if you don't hone in on your skills, like any job, any career, you won't be at your best. Obviously, like I said, nutrition and health is definitely the key, because you want to be working at optimum performance when your opportunity is called or your name is called. You don't want to, you know, like a lot of kids nowadays, you know, you come up with excuses, the coach don't like me, or, you know, he didn't tell me I wasn't ready. But, you know, if you stay ready, then you don't have to get ready. So that's definitely tough in these days and times as well, because we got so much going on. But, you know, in converse, you can learn how to run faster, jump higher, you know, by YouTube. So it should be,
right.
The excuses are limited. So.
Dating me, find better life.
So, Coach, in closing, our oatmeal recipe, like I said, is 3 ingredients: skill development, academic, and education. Skill development, academics, and nutrition. Talk about and tell the people how important that is. We touched based on all those 2 things, which was, you know, hard work and skill development, and hard work in academics. Hard work to keep your body situated. Talk about how important that is, and tell the community how important, you know, those 3 ingredients are to be a successful student athlete.
Well, there's no substitute for hard work, and you know, that's the number 1 thing. If you're willing, you know, one of the main, I've learned a long time ago from other people that one of the main reasons people are let go of their jobs or their profession or whatever is because they're not on time. You know, so that's just having a focus, having a strong desire, developing a work ethic, and it doesn't come overnight. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would have these 3 things. So it's just somebody that has a dream, and we encourage that here. I've encouraged that everywhere we go, that whatever your dream is, work hard towards it. Develop some skills. You know, we do a lot of skill development. trying to get better at passing, at dribbling, at shooting, at defense, the fundamentals. It's not complicated, but get good at it and really understand it and work at it, understand what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and be better at it. And then the nutritional part, I mean, your body is what's doing all this stuff. So, and not just your body, but your mind. You know, we talk about what you put into your mind will eventually be what comes out. Right. And so we talk a lot about that and thinking good thoughts and being a good person. You know, being a contributor to society and doing what's right when no one's looking. All these things we think are important, and I would agree with you, are you know, the staples to being a successful, happy person.
What have you seen in the process of the children? What have you seen?
I've seen a lot. I see. Well, what we do mostly, because we start at the development age of 7 to 9, 10 to 12. So mostly in those ages, even though we're dealing with the kid, our main focus is conditioning and educating the parent on the do's and don'ts of how to have a student athlete and how to approach them and get them from point A to point B.
Also, you also deal with the parents also.
We have to, because if the kids are receiving information at 7 to 9, they got to also be able to relate with their parents, and the parents got to also be able to relate the information to them. So the parents are very much informed of where to put their kid, what school to take them to, how to deal with coaches. You know what I mean? When adverse situations, nutrition-wise.
My name is Kevin Ray. I'm Ahmad's Ray's father. Ahmad is the 11th grader at Pinewood Prep. We plays basketball there. We've been training with the President Productions and the DAEs Foundation for the past 2.5 to 3 years.
Now, we just had the video session earlier. So right now we're stagnant with getting Ahmad to really carry throughout the training regimen and apply things on the court. And where we're at now is just the mental aspect. Can you explain to the audience what we're doing, how we're doing, and where we're at from a parent standpoint? Because I'm pretty sure this is common that goes on.
Very. Actually, watching your child train and be very good at training, and then when you don't see those things translate to the game, you wonder, well, what's going on? Why is this not happening? Where's the block going? So me, what I've oftentimes done is when I see something wrong, I immediately get on the phone, I'll call you and say, hey man, listen, I don't know what's going on, you know, I did this or that, and you'll say, well, hey, let's look at the video. And that brought us to kind of what we did today, being able to sit down, go through the video and see exactly what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, where are areas in which he can improve.
All right, we're here today with Felicia Smith and Justin Smith. How y'all doing today?
Fine. How are you?
Good. So, Ms. Smith, you've been in the program how long? What, 6, 7 months?
Oh, 6, 7 months.
6, 7 months. And when he first started, he was what, 13, 14 years old? Maybe.
He was. I think Justin had just turned 14.
Just turned 14. Okay. Can you tell the audience just some of the things that you see that our approach on how we do it and what we do from the standpoint of our on-the-court training?
What I've seen that, as you know, I've come to you because he didn't have anyone teaching him. There was no consistency. It was like they do these drills and put them out there. I looked for someone who was going to teach my child, to help him get better, to notice his weaknesses and help strengthen them. I have noticed that Justin doesn't see it, but I see that instead of stopping and thinking, he's able to finish what you give him, completely go through a task that you give him. There's more consistency since he's been training. I like that you have repetition. If you do a drill, you're going to do it over and over again. Even in the middle of a drill, if you see there's an error, you're going to stop and correct him or tell him, hey, Justin, this is what you need to do, or this is what you need to do here. I'm pleased with the changes that I've seen in him, the improvements that I've seen in him. At first, I think his left hand was very weak. He's strong. He's strong in those areas. His shot has improved. He's always been, or I've told that he's been a good defense player, but I think that he's come around a lot as a player.
Dating we find better life.
So just talk about the academic and the nutrition side of it and how important it is for that.
From a nutrition standpoint, I think you are what you eat. Your body is only going to take what you put in it. I think it's good to eat 3-4 meals a day. You have to get up, you got to have breakfast. That gets you started. It gets you started. I think which all of us in here probably are always done it. Don't even worry about breakfast sometimes. You got to get up and you got to go. But that gets you jump started. Your body is like a vehicle. You don't put any fuel in it, it ain't going nowhere. Or we always, during the middle of the day, we haven't eaten anything or might have got a bagel and that was it. And like, man, I'm so exhausted. Right. That's why you're exhausted. Right. So nutrition, and that's a good thing to have in your ingredient, that does play a big factor in your daily process, the way you operate, the way you work, and just your discipline as far as being in your academics.
The nutrition part of it is very simple. Our muscles go off protein, not fat. Oatmeal, being a nutritional diet, it's packed with protein, gives us that extra stamina and power we need to compete. So a bowl of oatmeal every morning before your daily regimen will increase your power, keep that intensity that you need in whatever sport you're playing. Thanks for tuning in to Day TV. Tune in on March 22nd as we talk about the life of travel basketball. Also, interviews from our local student athletes, college coaches, and political figures every Sunday, 7:20 to 8:20 p.m. Season 2, The Life of Travel Basketball. We'd like to thank Janet Carter, Harry Cornell, Quentin Washington for giving the community a lot of vital information. We'd also like to thank Ace Alexander for keeping the community busy and informed on our social media network. Brittany Haynes for doing a great job of putting everything together. And you, the community. Can't forget about Hampton Inn for supporting us throughout these seasons. Day TV, fundamentally mindful. Stay tuned.
Let me get that ball back because you're a shooter. Definitely. You're not really a passer.
Definitely. Fundamentally mindful.
Oh.